Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and this is the Snowy Owl applique pattern. Here's how to make it. Okay, this is the video showing how to assemble the Snowy Owl pattern if you're using a light box. So first I'll show you my light box setup. I've got a lot of layers here. I have my light box on the very bottom, turned up as bright as it'll go. On top of that, I have a tempered glass cutting board. I use that because I like to fuse right on top of my light box, and that protects it a lot. It'll take the heat where the light box will not. You don't need to have that. My ironing board is actually on the other side of my house from the closet where I record videos, and so I like to be able to fuse it right on that. Then I've got my placement guide and a clear silicone sheet. And I've got all of my pieces cut out and ready to go. So for that, I fused the templates to the back side of my fabric, to the wrong side of my fabric, and then I cut them out on the solid line. I use Heat and Bond Light for all of my quilts. That is a question I always get, so there it is. That's the brand I use. I love it. So cut it out on the solid lines. You're going to have some dotted lines within a lot of the pattern pieces. You can ignore those. Those are there as placement guides for people who are not using a light box, but you don't need to worry about them. So all of the pieces are numbered, and those numbers tell you what piece is what, but they also tell you in what order you're going to lay everything down. So we are going to start with piece number 1. We're going to peel that backing off, the paper part off, and just lay it down right on the guide. And then piece number 2 is his belly. So let's go ahead and put his white belly in. So adult male snowy owls are all white, but juvenile snowy owls and female snowy owls often have some speckling, gray or black speckling in their shoulders and back, and also around their head especially. It creates this like widow's peak. So this version of the snowy owl is showing that kind of speckly background. So number 3 is the head. And we're going to lay that down. So on this pattern, I designed the head to be tipped at a little bit of an angle. You don't have to do that. If you want to make him looking straight and formal at you, you can totally do that. Piece number 4 is the face. So he has a lighter body, a lighter belly, and a lighter face. Now, if you have trouble seeing any of these lines through there, you can just tap the fabric down until it makes contact, and that lets the lines, shine through the layers better. There we go. And you know what? I'm going to do this a little bit different just to make things easier for you guys to see. We'll come back to those, but I'm going to show you a way, because we're getting through a lot of layers here, and I'm not sure that it's showing up on the video, and I also just want you to know, if you're using a light box, this is a fun option. So now we're just going to worry about the face right now. So while it's just a single layer, this is going to make that easier to see what's going on. So we're going to put down 5 and 6, which are the yellow parts of his eyes. Snowy owls have golden eyes. And again, now you can see that. I think that's going to show up on the video too. You can see those lines showing through better. So that is piece 5. And then this is piece 6. And then the pupils are 7 and 8. And we could even take this, you know what, let's do that just for funs. So we're going to do, there's 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. And let's go ahead and put the eyelids on there too. So we'll do 9 and 10. Having a light box is just awesome. It makes things so easy. I am not one to have a lot of gadgets, but light boxes are magic. So we're going to just tack those together. Usually 5 seconds or so is enough for a tack. It's not enough for a permanent fuse, but it's a good tack. All right, we're going to let that cool for a second. Now we'll peel that up. So we have the two eyes kind of our already assembled units. So now let's do the face down here. So if we put the face there, and we'll do this eye where the lines are showing through, and this eye where the lines are showing through. And then let's go ahead and put his beak in there. All right, now we're going to fuse that all together. Let that cool for a second. That's good enough. And now we can peel that up carefully. And now let's go back to where we were. So we have, I think we got the body, piece number 1, and then the belly is piece number 2, and then the head is piece number 3. And then we're going to do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, all in one big thing. There's that line. All right. See how that makes it so easy? Now we're going to fuse the whole shebang together, but I don't actually need to fuse the entire surface of it. I'm really just going to plop my iron down in the middle, which is going to be enough to tack all of these pieces together. All right, so that was enough to hold the belly in place. Even though the bottom is flapping, the top is tacked. All of these are together. The top of this is loose, but that's okay. That's enough to hold it together to be able to move it around. You could, of course, it won't hurt anything. You could fuse this over and over and over again, as long as you don't fuse it too long at any one time. If you fuse it for too long or at too high a temperature, it can kind of burn away the glue, but you can melt it and refuse it and melt it and refuse it many, many times. So we're going to peel this up carefully. And then, let me get the block in here. There is our block. And here is our owl. So I am going to line this up with the bottom edge of the block. I design almost all of my quilt patterns what I call snapshot style. So I want it to look like I've snapped a photo of this owl and I've zoomed in to focus on his face. And in order to get that illusion, I line it up with the bottom edge of the block. You know what? I'm seeing a little double line of stitching there on my quilting. I'm going to flip this over so that I cover that up. It's just where I ran out of thread in the middle of a line. All right, so now I'm going to line it up so that the straight edge here is lined up with the straight edge at the bottom of my block. And that gives me the illusion when I sew it all together and that edge gets caught in my seam allowance, this will look like it's organically coming out of that seam, and it will give it that look of a cropped photo, where this does not, when you can see the block through at the bottom, you just lose that illusion completely. But I like that illusion. So there we go. He is nicely centered in there, and now I'm going to fuse him down, and I'll fast forward through this part because it's boring. All right, that is ready to outline. So I'll take this over to my sewing machine and I'll do all of the outline stitching, and then I'll bring it back here and I'll show you the finished owl and also show you 2 other versions that I made with different color palettes. All right, here is one finished snowy owl, and I've got a couple of different color versions that I made. This one has a little bit more speckling, a little bit more clearly defined speckling on the outside edges of his body. And I did one more version. There we go. So all of them are fairly realistic colors, but I've got different background colors depending on the bundle that sample is made for. So that is the new Snowy Owl pattern. I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and I'll see you next time.